Hello everyone, this is Alisha Costanzo and welcome back to my channel. It is cold in here for late August and so I'm bundled up on my floor, forgive me, and my tassels. So today I want to talk about my September TBR. I am going to be participating in at least 3 readathons. Possibly another one, possibly. I really want to participate in Books on Lala's Buzzwordathon, but none of my books have the word night in it, so that might be a struggle. We will see. I am in a very good mood because I just got off of an initial job interview for a job I really would enjoy doing and that I would be really good at, and it went well, so I should hear back tomorrow. Anyways, that has nothing to do with this. Let's talk about my September TBR. So, usually I play my own version of Bookopoly based off of Becca's Bookopoly, and she's doing a readathon this month with her own Bookopoly board. So I played with her board instead of mine, and this should be interesting. It got me a little bit out of my comfort zone because there are things on there that I don't have on my Bookopoly board, obviously. Let's get into some of those roles here in a minute. Let me set up, okay, getting ahead of myself. Let me set up some of the other readathons that I'm participating in. Another one is A Touch of Whimsy readathon in Wonderland, and this is a whole slew of hosts in it. I will post them down below in the description box. And this is supposed to be a middle grade readathon. If y'all know anything about me, I'm not a big fan of middle grade. However, I still like to participate in those prompts, so I'm making it work for me. And I'm sorry that I'm not doing the purpose of the readathon, which is to read middle grade. I have one on my list. It's been on my list for months, so we'll see how that goes. I really liked the prompt, so I'm gonna take part in it. The other readathon that I want to participate in is Sequel September, which is hosted by, I do have this one written down, Me, My Books, and Food. Awesome title. Totally connect with that name. She's got 10 prompts for sequels. I love series. I like to start series. I usually am pretty good at continuing series, but I'm gonna get through these sequels or the next in the series because they're not all technically sequels. Yeah. Alright, let's just get into role number 1. And my cat's disturbing me because, well, I have 2 of them right here and one over there. So, yeah. Okay, usually I play on this board. But since Becca from Becca's Bookopoly has her own board for this month and a readathon, the Bookopoly-a-thon, I'm going to play her board this month. So here's my little character. We all start on go. I've got my dice. I've got my cards with my prompts. And I think I'm going to do 8 to 10 rolls. Let's just say we'll see what happens. I do like doubles for that reason, so that's why I say 8 to 10. We will see. Talking with my hands. Van Italian. Okay, roll number 1, guys. 6. A dark cover. Alright, so roll number 1 is a dark cover. And I have chosen The Cold One by Christopher Pike. I have had this for a very long time. It's not part of a series. It's one of like the 3 or 4 books of Christopher Pike's, hi kitty, that I have not read yet. And since I'm going through and rereading his books, that's a recurring goal of mine. I figured, why not start with one I haven't read yet. Frodo's here to help me again, by the way. Yes. Frodo. Yeah. Now, I know nothing about this book other than Christopher Pike wrote it, so let's see what it says. A villain whose soft touch can wither a person's soul, whose great beauty conceals a black heart, and whose breath carries death in every exhalation. An emotionless being of great and ancient evil, the Cold One exists only to destroy mankind. I mean, me knowing Christopher Pike and having that, I don't really need to be sold on him, honestly, but that's for you to know what the heck I'm going to be reading, in case you're interested in reading it. This is also going to be my Cheshire Cat prompt for A Touch of Whimsy readathon. And again, it's not part of a series, so it doesn't qualify for any of the other prompts that I have. Book number 1. Let's go to book number 2. Roll number 2. 7. Person of color rep. Roll number 2 is a person of color representation, and I chose The Parable of the Talents by Octavia Butler. I read The Parable of the Sower a long time ago. I started book 2, so long ago. I wasn't in the right headspace for it because there's a lot of rape and murder, as I remember, in it, and I was just not ready to handle that. So I feel like I'm in a good place that I can actually read that now without having such adverse reactions to it. That is going to be my person of color representation. It's also going to be my first book in the Touch of Whimsy readathon as Down the Rabbit Hole into Another World. I loved the dystopian world in the first book. So, and it's also going to be my intimidating prompt for sequel September, because again, previous experience with trying to read this book. So, okay, so if you don't know about Parable of the Sower and Parable of the Talents, it is a duology. The first one, I remember so much of it vividly and probably forgetting way too much of it too, but it's global climate catastrophe, essentially economic crisis. Water is hard to come by and expensive, and people are looting and rioting and all of these things. And this 15-year-old lives in a gated community. Her father's a preacher. Just got jumped on. They're sheltered from the anarchy, but society is vulnerable and at risk, so she has to go out into the world and pretty much keep her faith while trying to survive. And that is continued in the second one I'm aware of. She ends up with somebody and has a kid. And then what I remember of the book is a militia or a group coming into her community and killing all the men, raping all the women, and stealing all their supplies. That's what I remember of book 2. So, yeah. That's what we're going to be reading this month. That's why it's, again, intimidating. I loved her writing style. She's really good at it. I'm still excited about reading this book. So, here's roll number 2. Roll number 3. 9. Chance card, is that right? Alright, chance card it is. Okay, by the way, not one I was excited about. I mean, semi-excited about, but I just finished the first part of the selection series, kind of feeling over it, but here we go. Roll number 3 is a chance card. With my chance cards, I did put half ones I was really excited about and half ones that I'm kind of excited about, don't want to read right now, and that's what this one was. The Air by Kira Cass. Not because, like, I hate it or anything. I just finished the other series. I just read through all of the stories, which was kind of a struggle. I was kind of over it by the time I got through the end. Though the last one I liked a lot more. And it's because I didn't read them between the stories like I should have. I would have enjoyed it way more had I done that, but I didn't. So, but this one is book 4, so we're actually going into, I believe, the first 3, the couple's main, their daughter is going through something. I don't really know what it's about, but I know it's a continuation of the selection series. So, this is also going to fill one of my sequel prompts, which is the most recent series read, because it is one of the most recent series read. I just started another series 2 days ago. Not technically my most recent, but at the time I was doing this, making up this list, it was. And it doesn't fit any of my other stuff, so. The Air by Kira Cass. Fortunately, short and easy to get through. So, yeah, so let's go on to roll number 4. Roll number 4. 5. Water on the cover. Roll number 4 is Water on the Cover, and I chose Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. I had a couple of AuthorTube people talk about this book, and it really interested me, so I'm on board. And it fits the starting of a first book in a new series prompt for sequel September. I don't really know much of what it's about, so let's have a look here. Okay, so there's war. 2 wishes hold the fate of this war, or this continent in their hands. They have a habit of finding trouble. There's clashes and they're forced to flee their home. Sounds much like one of the other books I'm reading this month. Okay, so a Truthwitch can discern truth from lies. Many would kill her for her magic, so she has to keep it hidden. She comes in contact with the prince. They become reluctant allies, and now they have to slow down the Blood Witch, who's hot on the girl's heels. So those seem to be the two witches. There's it seems like a magical, epic-ish, urban fantasy type thing that, yeah, it sounds good. It's got a good review. Okay, into it. Water on the cover. Let's go to roll number 5. 3. 5-star prediction. Roll number 5 is a 5-star prediction. I am going with The Concrete Blonde by Michael Connelly. This was on my TBR for August. Unfortunately, my library loan didn't come in yet. I still have a couple weeks on it. So it's going to be in my September reads. If you didn't know about, this is pretty much the Bosch series, which has a TV show. I've talked about it a few times. I've read the first 2 books, so this is book 3. And it's just going to be another case where badass Detective Bosch is going to go find some murderers. He is the stand-up against police not doing their jobs correctly kind of cop. I don't know if I'm explaining that properly, but everyone matters or nobody matters. I say that all the time when I talk about him, and that's the attitude that he has, and that's why I enjoy reading the police detective book. I like it when they stand up for people and not just back the brotherhood. So I do know that that's also going to be one of my prompts for the sequel September, because it's a book 3 in the series. And again, 5-star prediction, 5-star prediction. That was an easy connection to make. Let's go. What am I on? Let's go to roll number 6. Roll number 6. 6. Another chance card. Well, I'm glad I made them. This is Moon Called by Patricia Briggs. This is the more excited. This is on my 20 to read before the end of 2020. Roll number 6 is another chance card. I don't know much about this one other than it's a shifter paranormal romance, and that we have had it for a very, very long time. It's one of my husband's series. I've read quite a few of the series that my husband read. I believe he read this while he was in Afghanistan. That's how where he read most of his books, is because, you know, there's a lot of sitting around and waiting for some things. So anyways, let's figure out what this is about. Moon Called, Patricia Briggs. Mercedes Thompson, aka Mercy, is a talented Volkswagen mechanic living in the Tri-Cities area of Washington. She also happens to be a walker, a magical being with the power to shift into a coyote at will. Mercy's next-door neighbor is a werewolf. Her former boss is a gremlin, and she's fixing a bus for a vampire. This is the world of Mercy Thompson, one that looks a lot like ours, but is populated by those things that go bump in the night. It's going to get her into some serious hot water. Now, this sounds exactly like the types of books that he read during that time. Sherilyn Kenyon, Kim Harrison. Why can't I think of the other one? Come on, Alicia. The Anita Blake series, for Christ's sake. Who wrote that? Laurel K. Hamilton. Why couldn't I think of that? I don't know. But I read so many of those books when we first started dating. And I actually got Sherilyn Kenyon to sign some of my books. Anyways, that's not the point of this at all. That brings me back to a time like 12, 13 years ago, and I'm excited to actually get to read this one. And that is going to be my prompt for favorite genre in my sequel September readathon, because absolutely my favorite genre. Are you kidding me? That's what I write. So, yes. Alright, let's get on to roll number 7. Roll number 7. 6. Community shelf. Just the top one. Features food. Okay. Roll number 7 is community shelf, and it said food featured. So I chose Ruth is King by Megan March. This is one of my prompts for read the first chapter of 10 books challenge, and I really liked it. The protagonist owns a brewery, so there's my food featured. Since there's a lot of talk about how to do these things, I'm sure it's going to come up again. So, and from her other writing, I know that food does feature at least a little bit in there, and I am going to consider that a safe bet. It doesn't connect to any of my other readathons, but it is my prompt for food featured community shelf. Yay. Let's go on to roll number 8. Roll number 8. 7. A light cover. Roll number 8 is a light cover. So it works perfectly. Something that's been on my list for a long time. I'm almost done with the first one, but I still need to read the second one, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. I was hoping to get these both done in a month. I think this is going to be the book because of how massive it is, and because it's 3 separate books in one. I always forget about that, and I feel like I'm such a lazy ass for not having finished the first volume. It's 3 books. Don't be so hard on yourself, Alisha. I'm going to read it pretty much all month. I'm going to start it the first day, and I'm going to read a little bit at a time. Because I've already read this chunk too before, rereads go slower for me, so I'm going to put this on September. I'm making progress. I'm making progress. There's my light cover. It's white, so it's pretty darn light. And if you didn't know, book 3, 4, and 5, it's pretty much one of the first vampires. She is really the last main old vampire, and she's trying to save humanity from herself and other vampires. She wants to be human again. There's alchemy and stuff, and lots of death and blood and sex, and I like it. Also gonna be a prompt, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Big book prompt for the sequel September. Absolutely. Does this one have any night in it? No, the one I'm reading now does. Okay. Let's go on to roll number 9. Just to see what happens, let's roll number 9 and 10. So, roll number 9. 7. A middle grade. Okay, so roll number 9 is a middle grade book, which works because I still have not read Artemis Fowl. I will get there, slowly but surely. I will get there. I don't know what it is recently about physical books, and it's so hard for me. Audiobooks. But middle grade, I'm gonna give it a chance, and it's also going to fit in with my Touch of Whimsy. See, I got a middle grade in there for my Touch of Whimsy readathon. Come on, Alisha. It is going to be my Flower Garden pretty cover, which is the second stop in that little map. I'm not going to recap what that book is about. I've talked about it on many other occasions. I will link it below if you're interested. But yeah, it's anti-hero type of evil genius, young adult drama. Alright, let's go on to roll number 10. In roll number 10. 10. Fire on the cover. Okay, so roll number 10. Our final roll. I got no doubles during that. That was amazing. If I get through all of these books, which, let's be honest, is not very likely, I'll do extra rolls and do a vlog for that, but we'll see. A lot of short ones on here at least. Anyway, roll number 10 was a fire cover. Hi, cutie. Hi, Frodo. Hi, Frodo. Is a fire cover. So I chose 4 by Veronica Roth. This is a collection of short stories that come after the Divergent series and take forced perspective. I'm pretty sure I've wanted to read it for a while and I just haven't. And that is why I chose, and it has fire on the cover, so that's why I chose it. And it also fits my prompt for the sequel September of continuing the series that I started before 2020. I read that a long time ago, and that is definitely good for that. There are a few more that are on my TBR that had nothing to do with Bookopoly, but are going to help me finish out some of my other readathons. I also have Dirty Pleasures by Megan March. I actually found that the rest of her series is on my library, is available on the app, so I'm super excited to continue reading that series. The first one was Dirty Billionaire. I read it last month for my read 1 chapter out of 10 books challenge, and it is going to fit the White Rabbit's house with a snack and a cozy night. So I'm going to put those 2 prompts together. I'm going to eat something cozy and read that book because it's short and I can do that in one day. And that's for the Touch of Whimsy readathon. I know it's weird to have erotica in a middle grade readathon, but that's what I'm reading. So, and it's also going to fit with my shortest prompt for sequel September. So I also am going to be reading The Black Heart by Holly Black. This is the last in a series, which is one of my prompts for a sequel, September, I believe, final book. And it is the final book in the Curse Worker series, which is about people who have magic in their hands. They're essentially witches, and it's outlawed to use, it's almost outlawed to be one, but there's discrimination, all these things. And I've read the first 2 books. I'm super excited to see what happens in this 3rd one. There's mafia stuff and school stuff and political stuff, and it's just romance stuff. I'm interested, and I love Holly Black, so I'm going to finish off that series with Black Heart, which is going to be my Queen of Hearts Palace, which is a book you'll love, and I know I will love it because I've loved the first 2. My last prompt is Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. And this is one I've been putting off, and this is because it's again a collection of short stories that should have gone between the series, the Lunar Cycle series, and I really want to just get through it and finish it up and learn all those different things. Now, I wasn't as immersed in that series as recently as I was the Selection series, and I also had issues with the Selection series and pacing. Frodo. I had issues with the pacing in the Selection series, not so much in her series, so I'm pretty excited to get through these short stories and kind of fill out that world for me. And I think that's it, guys. It's more than enough, right? That is 13 books on my TBR. I've been doing okay with my reading, meaning I've been getting roughly 8 to 10 books in general. The 10 chapters that I've been doing I always forget how long they tend to be, so I have to figure myself for that. I don't have one of those challenges this month, so I don't think I should do too badly in September. Depending on if I get the shop or not. Please keep your fingers crossed for me. Alright. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you.